Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm WoWcrendor, and welcome to another episode of Worldcrendor, where you can ask me questions on twitter.com/WoWcrendor, facebook.com/Crendor, or just follow me there to follow me. Either way, it's all good. First question comes in from @Artisanist. They say, WoWcrendor, what would you consider as being the biggest change since the beginning of World of Warcraft? The game itself or the community? And I thought that was an interesting question, because I think both have changed drastically over the 9-ish years it's been out. So the community has changed because the people that started playing back when it first came out have now graduated to a point where they're in the work field. They're not really going to school anymore. So they have a full-time job, or at least they hope to have a full-time job. They might even have a family, or they're in a relationship, or, you know, they have a kid, whatever it is. They're at a different point in their life than they were 9 years ago, as would anyone. And because of that, I think that actually favors the current state of the game, because it helps a lot of casual type playing, since they don't have a lot of time. So they can go do an LFR, or, you know, hop on and do a dungeon or PvP or whatever it may be. It's a lot easier to hop on and get stuff done quickly and then go back to doing whatever else you're doing. While back in the day, the game used to be you had to find a guild. Now you just get invited to guilds, like join our top tier guild and get benefits, whatever. Even though there are hardcore raiding guilds still, but it's a lot different than what it used to be. That used to be like the sole thing, was like you join this group of people and that was your purpose, was to go raid or PvP, or like a leveling guild. Like they had very specific causes to what that guild was, or attributes to the guild. You know what I mean? And so back then, their guilds were tight-knit communities. While now, you just get invited to guilds, and it's just whatever. Like, they had that back in the day, but now it's just a lot easier to do that, because you can just spam invite people. Either way, you know what I mean. And so the game has changed with the community. And so because of that, that's why I think you can't just pick one or the other. I think the game and the community have both evolved at the same rate. And so a lot of the people playing right now that may have just gotten into World of Warcraft, they see the game right now as it is, in just a more casual, friendly game, even though you can still do dedicated, you know, like hard mode raids and all that, but not to the extent that it was. And because of that, I think they've both changed at an equal rate. But I'd probably have to go with the game a bit more, since the game evolved and then people adjusted to the game. But I thought that was a really good question. I liked it, and because of that, that's why I chose it. Next question comes from AndI'mBreadCat @Ensale, and they say, what can we expect in the future to show up on your channel? Another good question, because currently I have been all over the place. I've been all over the place for a while now, and if you've listened to my WoW Let's Plays and all that, you've heard me say, like, I want to change things, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get this done, blah, blah, blah. The problem has been, the last 2 months, month and a half really, I've been traveling. I've gone to LA, North Carolina, Ohio. I've traveled more in the last 2 months than I think I have, like, in my life. And in that time span, my view counts have dropped. And obviously, being someone who's into marketing and business and all that, I look at that and I'm like, that's not good. That means that what I'm currently doing is not sufficient enough, and I need to change something. When you start losing viewership, that means something needs to change. So that's what I'm trying to figure out right now. And I don't know exactly what I want to do yet. I know that if I really put effort into it, I can make a machinima every week. And I know there's going to be people who are like, take your time. Don't make something that's rushed or whatever. But I don't think that would be rushed. In fact, I think it would just be I would have to dedicate more time to it. But if I did dedicate more time to it, I think I could get it done. And they'd still be good. So that's my plan. I'm going to try to do a machinima a week. Maybe even 2. If I could do 2 machinimas in a week, that'd be pretty great. But I'm aiming for 1. And then I'd also like to keep doing World of Crendor, because I like that, because it fits in with the community aspect, so I can answer everyone's questions. A lot of people are like, you should play games with us, but the problem is, like I've said before, I'm just really antisocial. I barely even play games with, like, my friends, like, that want to play games with me. I play games with, like, 4 people, and it's just, I'm just really bad at it, like, to be honest. Like, I'm the type of person that just sits back and doesn't say anything. So, like, Jesse is the type of person where, I've went over this too, but he's the type of person, you play a game with him, he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? We're playing games, whoa, da-da-da, I'm the type of person, I'll just sit there and, like, not say anything. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be talking right now, but, I mean, I could just not be talking. That's me. So, that's why I'm really bad at playing games with people. So I'm sorry if that's, like, what you really want, but that's just, it's not me. And so that's why I like doing these types of things, where I can answer questions, or like on social media, I'll answer people a lot. It's a lot easier that way. What else can we expect on my channel? I still want to do an interview show. I've also contemplated the idea, if fishing with Crendor doesn't work out, which I'm trying to make it work out. If it doesn't, I have another idea that could be really fun and unique and different. So I'm excited for that interview show aspect, because I think it'd be funny to implement that with all the various different YouTube personalities. I can't tell you what it is yet, because somebody might take it, but it's all if fishing with Crendor doesn't work out. I might even implement it into fishing with Crendor if I could get both of them. So I'm going to stop talking about that, since you don't know what it is and it kind of defeats purpose. And then I want to do like a WoW leveling video a day until I'm done and hit like 60. 60 was my goal. Excuse me, 60 was my goal. And I'll hit 60 and see what I do from there. But I mainly just wanted to hit 60 on my hunter and experience all the, because the point of this was to experience all the Cataclysm content leveling wise that I missed. And it's gone on for far too long. It's been like a year and a half almost, and I just want to just grind it out. So that's what I plan on. Just leveling every day or every other day. Not sure yet. Every day might be too much. We'll see about that. I'll see how much I can do. And then what else do I have on my channel that might be happening? I want to do like an IRL vid, like how I did those Blizzard, like the Titan Blizzard April Fool's joke thing, or how I did like exercising with Crendor and the Total Biscuit, or Total Dodger Biscuit thing with how to YouTube. I like doing those, so I'd like to do one of those a week as well, because I think that's a nice IRL interaction stuff. Then I got my non-content channel, youtube.com/CrendorIRL. I do all my non-content over there. I'd also like to do a random game a week, because I'd also like to just implement other types of games. But right now I have my series that's called, like, I Felt Like Playing, but I don't like that. I don't like I Felt Like Playing. I want a series name that isn't that. So if you can leave in the comments some ideas, I might actually use it, or use a variation of it. And that's really it. And then when Warlords of Draenor comes out, obviously I'm going to be playing that a lot. The beta, of course. When the beta comes out, I'll be covering the beta a lot. A lot of people have been asking me that. Yes, I will cover the beta, and I will cover it extensively, because technically that is my job. Especially with my viewer counts going down. So I'm like, I need something fresh. I need, like, Warlords of Draenor. Give me that. Give me something fresh. And yeah, that's really what I've got right now. I'm still trying to think up more stuff I can do, but Yeah. Next question is from Maddie Sears at Lilith Childs, or Lilith Childs. They say, how many more squishables do you need? That's a good question. I need a lot of squishables, because squishables are awesome. Right now, I have the dragon, I have the Yeti, I have the coffee cup, I have the Cthulhu, and a few other ones. Oh yeah, the Warble. I think a few other ones. If you didn't know, I have a P.O. box. If you ever want to send like fan mail or squishables or even just letters, I like fan letters. I keep them all. I'll put my P.O. box in the description if you want to send me something or whatever. And if you sent me something and were like, hey, like, you better reply to this, include your email or something like that, and I'll try to reply to you. I try to reply to all the fan letters I get, so that's a thing. Next up, we got Josh Thornton. He says, do you think Wildstar will be a good game? Not really. And the reason I say that is because I've seen so many games, so many MMORPGs just come and go, that I've hit a point where I'm like, they're really just all the same. Like, even just these big studios, big companies with money try to compete, and they're just, you know, it's whatever. The fact is, people need a brand new innovated MMORPG if anything's gonna change and take over WoW. And WoW's just been in the MMORPG business for so long, and they've created so many staples, and so many people are nostalgic over it. The lore is good. They have an end game. The problem is most of these games, you get to end game and then it's just boring. That's what Guild Wars 2 was for me. But honestly, Guild Wars 2 was probably the closest thing to a, like, I'd rank that number 2 under MMORPGs on my list, because I had a fun time leveling and playing it and all that. But I mean, aside from that, it's just WoW is like Google right now. It's the Google of MMORPGs. Next question is Kristen Randall, and they say, what do you say to people who tell you you are too old for video games, because I'm struggling with that? If someone tells me I'm too old for video games, I would not talk to them, because I would think they're stupid. But if you cannot reason with them, if you would say, why am I too old for video games? What logical conclusions can you come to that prove that I'm too old for video games? Is it because you view video games as being a child-based activity? Like, only children play video games. Well, people watch TV. A child can watch TV. Children watch Barney on TV, so that's a children's activity, yet people watch TV. You know, to say that is very ignorant, because you exclude all of the games that are made in the video game industry for adults, and there's a lot of deep themes, there's a lot of storyline and lore, and there's games that are... to say that video games are... that you're too old for video games means you don't understand video games. It just means you're talking to somebody that is just ignorant about that field, and you can always tell if someone's ignorant and uneducated or unintelligent about something because they won't argue from both sides. You can't have an intelligent argument if somebody doesn't understand both sides of the argument. You know, if somebody's seen the movie, I don't know, what's the movie? I didn't think about this before I said it. Let's say somebody ate pizza, right? And somebody else ate spaghetti, and they're gonna argue against each other about which one is better. It's like, okay, first off, has the one person tried pizza? They're gonna be like, I don't need to try it because I know I wouldn't like it. Like, that's what a lot of these people say. Like, okay, you're too old for video games. Well, have you tried video games? Like, no, I didn't play video games because I know I wouldn't like them. And even if I did try it, I'd be very stubborn and not want to like it while I'm playing. Like, that's the type of people that say that stuff. So, don't let it get to you, because you're not going to change those people It's very unlikely because they're just set in their ways. And, yeah. Next up, we got Timon Hoekstra. I probably messed that name up. They say, if you ever got your own character in WoW, which would it be? Where would he, she, it stand? What would he, she, it say? I would, out of all my characters, the one I would want in the game the most, it would probably come down to 3 of them. It'd be Billy, and he'd be like, I don't know. He'd probably be just somewhere in the wild trying to do something for a quest. And he'd be really bad at it, and you'd have to help him do it because he's really bad at it. Or the Go guy who would yell at you at the start of an instance because you're too slow. I think that'd be funny. Or Boar Thrills. I think Boar Thrills out in the wild would be really funny too. And he could have a urine quest. So those 3. One of those 3 would be what I'd want in the game. There you go. And finally, we have Helgi Freyr Thomassen. I definitely pronounced that wrong. I always like how people say that too. I mean, obviously I'm guilty of it, but everyone who pronounces a name, then after it, they're like, I totally messed up that name or whatever. Like, why do I say that? Why don't I just say Helgi Freyr Thomassen? Sorry if I messed up your name. Like, why don't I just say that? I'm like, man, I totally messed up that name. Is it like a clever, funny thing to say? Why do we say it? I don't know. They say, do you think Hearthstone should be integrated into WoW? Cards could drop from bosses and rare mobs, etc. The problem with that is some people don't want to play Hearthstone, and then something drops off a boss, and you're like, oh, it's for a Hearthstone card. But I don't think you could have things drop. That's the problem. But I know, obviously, the reason they would get Hearthstone cards into WoW is so that you got some cross-marketing going. So you might only want to play Hearthstone, and you heard it's really fun, you get back into it, and then they're like, oh, earn this card by playing World of Warcraft. And you're like, man, I haven't played World of Warcraft in 5 years, but I guess I'll start playing again. And then you start playing World of Warcraft, and then you do that, and then you get hooked on that again, and then it's just, you know, back and forth. Or you might be playing WoW, and then you find this Hearthstone thing, and you're like, wow, I'm gonna go try some Hearthstone. Then you go try Hearthstone, you buy a bunch of Hearthstone cards. So it's cross-marketing. That's why they do it. That's why it's very, 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 very possible that they will do it. I've actually seen them implementing it in certain ways. Such as buy Diablo and get Hearthstone booster packs. But I think it would be more with achievements. So say, sit in Orgrimmar for 2 hours and you'll earn a Hearthstone pack. You know, it could be something like that. Or like, go try out our new raid. Like, go complete the first wing of the new LFR raid and you'll earn a Hearthstone pack. You know, achievements like that. Like, obviously, those are very generic examples, but I mean, it could be more tied into actual Hearthstone. Like, go talk to Sylvanas and, I don't know, complete the quest she has, and you'll get a Hearthstone, or you'll get the Sylvanas Hearthstone card. Like, that type of thing. So, I mean, there's a bunch of ways they could do it. They will definitely tie Hearthstone into WoW more. But I think that's a good thing. I like it. As long as it doesn't change, like, the gameplay experience. Like, as long as it's an optional thing, then I don't think there's anything to be worried about with it either. So, I'm all for it. Yeah. Either way, that's that. Thank you for listening to me rant. That's what this show's all about. If you want to ask a question, you can go to twitter.com/WoWcrendor or facebook.com/Crendor and wait for me to be like, hey, ask me World of Crendor questions, which I'll do pretty much every week. So, thanks for listening. Yeah. Okay. See ya.